So today we are back again with a new video. So in this video we're going to touch base about SAM, that is serverless application model, which is AWS service. So SAM, with the help of SAM, we'll be actually deploying one Lambda function and a queue, basically a SQS driven Lambda. So in this example we'll be demonstrating an entire CICD pipeline for maintaining that SAM based SQS trigger. In this example, we will be touch basing around different concepts of Lambda, SQS, and CloudFormation as well. Okay, so without further ado, I'll start with the demo and I'll explain everything step by step so that we all have clarity on that. So first thing first, we need to go to the Cloud Shell, AWS Cloud Shell that we have. So we will go to the AWS Cloud Shell. So in the meantime, it's getting loaded. So we will actually create some of the stuff which is required for this demo. First, we will create the S3 bucket, which is required to store the artifacts of our code. So we will go to S3 bucket section and we will create an S3 bucket. Let's say I create a demo artifact bucket, something like that, in North Virginia region. So whichever things we'll be creating, it will be for North Virginia region. So we'll be going ahead with the default settings. We'll be doing unblocking this for some time for our demo so that it's more clear for everyone. Then we'll be creating a bucket. So this bucket already exists with some name, so we will create with some other name. So this has been created now. Now we will go ahead and create the other things are required, which are nothing but the code repository. We'll go to code commit service. And we'll create a repository. Demo repo. We will create this one. And there is a given git clone command which we need to use while we have to clone in our local system. So these are the two resources which are required to be created, and apart from that we need a role for CloudFormation which is required to be at the time of deployment. So we will go to IAM role section. We will create a role here. This is for CloudFormation service. So we will select a service here that is nothing but CloudFormation. Then we'll go for next. We will select the required permission. So we need IAM full access. And then we need SQS full access. So we are taking a full access because this is just for demo purpose, but in actual environment we need not to have full access. So that's where we need to be wary about our permissions that we are using. Then we have Lambda full access. Then the next one is AWS CloudFormation full access. Yeah. So IAM full access is done and this is done. So I think this should be enough. So we go ahead and create a demo CloudFormation role. So we have CloudFormation full access, Lambda full access, SQS and all that. Then we create a role. Now this will be required at the time of deployment step. So we are just creating the prerequisites for all of that which we need for demo. So now we are into the command shell, or I would say cloud shell. So first of all, we need to check whether we have SAM CLI installed or not. So we will check that by version. So it says execute with this command SAMH. Don't think it's installed, or I think the command is different. So we have this SAM CLI installed. So we will clear this screen and we will clone our code commit repository that we have created. Now we will clone this into our local system, and because all the git related commands, so we will be doing that from our local systems. So let's say I clone it here. I take the exact command from here itself. So I go to code commit. I go to demo repo. I go to HTTP. This is the command. I'll type in here. So it will clone an empty repo for us. Now we will go inside cd demo repo. Then we need to initialize a SAM project. So first of all, we are starting from the scratch. So we are initializing a SAM project. So SAM, for initializing any SAM project, we will use SAM init command. This will give you basic options to initialize your project, in which language you want to do, which all API services you want to integrate and all that. Okay, I think before that we need to update our access keys and secret keys as well. So let me do that also. We will switch back to IAM. We will switch back to users. Then we'll go to our user. Then we'll go to security credentials. So we have this create access key and secret key. So we will create this one, or we can use directly from here and update into our system. So these access key and secret keys will only last for a couple of hours, so those won't be accessible after that. So if you're trying with these access keys and secret keys in the demo, which I'm using in the demo, probably those may not be applicable. So I'll go to the project again. I'll open a new CMD. I'll do SAM init here now. It will ask for two options. I'll use the AWS Quick Start. It will ask for which example you want. So basically we are going with the SQS and Lambda based example. So that comes under number 6. So it will ask you for which environment you are using. I'm using Node.js 16 because that I have in my local system. Then it is asking from which service you want to integrate your Lambda. I'm integrating with SQS, so I'll use 3. So then I'll use yes. So then it is asking for the project name. I'll use demo SAM app. Then it will be pulling out that starter template from the repository. It will wait for, you need to wait for a few seconds here. So this is actually pulling out all the template related files from the GitHub repo of AWS SAM CLI. So that's where it is taking a lot of time. So it will take few seconds more, and then we'll be having that related files into our project, and then we'll be copying that and pushing that into the code commit repository that we have created. Okay, so it's done. So what we will do is now next is, so we have this files created here. So this is the demo SAM app. So this is the depot that we have. This is the demo SAM app. So we will cut this one and paste everything here, and we will remove this folder now. So now everything we have in the demo repo root folder. Okay, so now we will do git status, and we will do all these things. We will push them to the repo, initial commit. So it has, now this will push our code to the code commit repo that we have created with the branch that we have. So we will go back to code commit now. Okay, so we are into demo repo. So we can see that the files are populated here. So this is the repo population, how we have to do that. Now the next thing is we'll go to CodePipeline. Now this entire process that I've done from local system, we can do that from SAM, this Cloud Shell as well. Now the next thing is creating a pipeline. So we will create a pipeline here. We will give it a name, demo SAM pipeline. Then we will assign a new service rule. So it will create a new service rule for this pipeline. We will select the source provider, that is code commit for us. We will select the repo name, that is demo repo. Then we will select the branch name, that is master. Next is the change detection option. So we will keep everything by default and press next. Then the builder options, we are using code build, so we are using this one. Then we will create a project in code build. So at the runtime, it will create a pop-up for us. We will say demo build something. Then we will add image here. So as we are using Node.js 6, so Node.js 16, so we will be using this one. So we can verify that also. So if you go here, you need to verify that in which runtime version this Node 16 will be available. So we can go to this page. We have Node.js 16, so we will go here. So we can use these through either of these two images. So we'll verify if we're using which one. So we are using 5th, we need to use 6th. And then we need to go for additional configuration. So here we need to mention the bucket name as an environment variable. So we will use this bucket name here. And we will get the name for the bucket from here. We'll go to S3. Okay, so this is our bucket name. This one, we will put this one here. And that's done. So these are the basic configurations we will have. So after creating this, we will go back to our project code and we will see what all things are created there as well. Okay, it's created now. So as we can see, we'll go to next step, which is the deployment one. We are using CloudFormation for deployment. Action is create or update stack. Stack name you can give anything, or if you have new name. So I have a new name, so I'll give demo SAM app stack, something like that. Okay, so now we will use build artifacts. Then we will use packaged YAML, which is nothing but our packaged YAML file that we will see in some time. Then we will use capability. We will put these capability. We will mention the role that we created in the start, and that's it. So these are the basic configurations. Now our pipeline is created. Now we will go back to the code. We will import the code here. We have this demo repo. So you can see there is a SQS payload logger, which is nothing but our Lambda. So which will log the request which is coming from the SQS. So this is the build spec file which will be used of the code build project to build our project. So I have this sample file. Let me use that one. Yeah, this one, which has SAM commands also. So there are different phases in the build spec YAML. One is install, then command, then build, and all these stages that we have. So these are all our stages of our you can say build spec YAML file. So in this, whenever the package is built up, so it basically first of all builds the entire package, and then it basically packages it and publishing on the S3 bucket that we have created. So the first command will actually build it and create a build in your project, and then second command, that is SAM package, it will actually deploy that entire package onto the S3 bucket, which is nothing but the environment variable that we have mentioned. And this is the output file, which is nothing but the name of the file that we mentioned there in the CloudFormation settings. So that's why this packaged YAML is required for CloudFormation to deploy it. So now we will push this change, and we will continue with the further in the next video. So this is part 1. So in the next video, we will be testing out these changes on the pipeline, and we'll be seeing that pipeline running as well. So yeah, so that's all for now. So as of now, we have pushed everything which is required. So in the next video, we'll be looking at the pipeline, how it is running exactly. and how we'll be visualizing that pipeline as well. Yeah. Thank you. We started integrating SAM CICD pipeline for a SQS based Lambda. So in that video, we created an S3 bucket, we created a code commit repository, and we created a CloudFormation role as a prerequisite. And then we created a code pipeline. As part of that code pipeline, we created a code build project as well, which can only be triggered into via that code pipeline. So I'll first of all showcase the code pipeline that we created. So this is the pipeline. This is in currently failed state. I'll show you why. So this is the code. The first time when we pushed the code when we in the last video, so it triggered this build because this was the pipeline was created before pushing that commit. So that's why this code commit built the code and then it went to the build stage. Now the deployment didn't run because our code build itself failed. So we will go to code build now. Now we will see the error. The error is something related to SAM package command. It couldn't actually push the document or the build file to our S3 bucket that we created. So now what we will do in this case is we'll have to go to the build details and we'll have to go to the roles. Now this role is for the code build. Now there are two different services. One is code build, one is code pipeline. Now code build has to build the code as well, and at the same time it has to push the artifacts to S3 as well. That is the role of code build. So for that we need S3 access also. So we will add a policy here. For now it is full access, but we will have to add a policy which is restrictive as well, and that should be the best practice. This for demo we are showing the S3 full access policy. Now we will add it. Now as you see it is added now. Now we have to trigger this build again. Now we can't trigger it manually as this is linked with this code pipeline. It can only be triggered in case of when you add or commit a code. Now we will go to AWS CloudFormation screen also. In the AWS CloudFormation screen, we are expecting a stack also to be created after the build succeeds. Currently, it has these existing stacks, but it will create a new stack that we added a name here. So we'll show you the name. So this is the demo SAP app stack which will be created after the build or deployment step succeeds. Now we will change something in our code and we will make a commit. So we just trigger this build. So we will do git status, git add all, then we will do git commit, then we will say dummy changes, then we will say git push. So it will push our changes to this one. Okay, so now the changes are pushed. So now we can wait for a few seconds and then we will see this pipeline getting in the running state. As you can see, the source is in progress. Okay, so now this code build is also in progress. Sorry for the background noise. Now the logs will be coming here in few seconds or in a minute, where you can see what all things are happening inside our code build section. Let's wait for a few more seconds. So there are different tabs also in the screen like phase details. Phase details will show you what all phases code build here it's going through. First of all, it's submitted, then it got queued, then it is getting provision, now it is in downloading source code, then reports and environment variables, as we had this environment variable which is nothing but our S3 bucket to deploy our code. Now the logs are coming up, so it is executing the build phase and different phases that we had entered into the build spec YAML file. Then it is build is succeeded. Then the pre-build is fine. Now it is going to the SAM build. So it is doing the build over code. So it has built. Now this is the command which last time failed. So we will see if it passes now. So looks like it's passing. So it's uploading artifact state. So upload artifact is, it means it has uploaded to S3. Now we will see in CloudFormation stack if it is trying to create something, or we will go back to our pipeline. It's in progress state. Code commit is success, build is success, CloudFormation is in progress. Let's see if it is working. As you see, the first one, the demo SAM app, it is in progress. Let's wait, keep our fingers crossed to make it run and successfully. Now you can see all those events as well, which is nothing but saying what all things it's creating. It's creating this logger lambda, it is creating logger rule, then it is creating a simple SQS or something. So all these things it's creating. Now there is some error. We need to see that error. What is the error? Now it says your access has been denied by this one. Make sure your object have permission to get object for demo artifact bucket, access denied. So this is the error right now which we are getting in terms of your lambda. So now we have to go to CloudFormation role once and see our role if it was properly configured or not. We will go to CloudFormation, demo CloudFormation role. This is our now which all policies we added. We added SQS full access, we added IAM full access, we added CloudFormation, then we added this Lambda full access. Now the CloudFormation's role is to deploy your SQS, deploy your Lambda, deploy your whatever resources it needs for your SAM application. Now in case of Lambda, it has to go to S3 bucket where our code is or artifacts are deployed to fetch it from that bucket and deploy onto the Lambda. So that's where it has to go. Now we will go back to our role here. So we will add a policy here, which is nothing but the S3 full access, which will allow this CloudFormation role to talk to S3. Now we will push another commit. Now it is pushing our code. So we will go here. So it is in succeeded state. It is waiting for that commit to read. So it will be read in few seconds. It is pushed. We'll refresh this page once. Now it is built. Now it is in the building phase. We'll give it few seconds. In the meantime, you can review all these things which I created. I created CloudFormation role as first, which is having all these policies. It has XQS, it has IAM, it has S3 full access for Lambda, which is needing that repository, then CloudFormation, then Lambda full access. So all these roles are part of the policies are part of this role. Then we created bucket in the start. And before that we created, I think it will fail again. Yeah. Now I'll show you why. It should show fail to create up to, yeah. So let us go back to the screen again. We will see the latest information if we get something. Okay, it's still in progress. Yeah, it hasn't failed yet, but it will fail, I think. So let's wait for the code build to complete. So it is doing the npm install. So the prerequisites before coming to the code pipeline is complete those prerequisites carefully. Now, as we are dealing with SQS and Lambda based example, we need to first create a CloudFormation role which has all these 5 policies, and then this S3 bucket should be created in the same region where you are deploying your application, and then a code commit repo also should be created. After that, on doing all these things, we should come to CodePipeline and create the required pipeline steps and all that. Now this is done. Now we will go back to our pipeline. Now it should fail because we have stack exists with non-updatable rollback. So as we had this stack already created, so that's why it is saying that it is non-updatable. So we will have to create a new stack, or we will have to edit this as our build failed. So that's why we have to do this step, but ideally that's not required in most of the time. So we will give another name here. So we will give this one, then we say done, then we say save it. Now we will go ahead and make a small commit again. We'll do this one, we'll do this one. Okay. So now we will switch back to the code pipeline screen. Let's wait for a few seconds. Yeah, it's in build stage. Let's wait for it getting built. Let's wait for a few seconds until its logs are getting printed. We can go for entire logs also, or we can use the tail logging to see the logs getting appended. In parallel, logs can be watched in the CloudWatch as well. The way it is loading, you can watch it here as well rather than watching it here. So in the CloudWatch, it will append the logs in the specific log group that this code build project has. Okay, it's taking a lot of time. Yeah, so now the logs are coming. It's here also now. Now it is getting SAM build. It is going to the SAM build command, not went yet. Now it is doing that. So now it is doing the building part and all. Now it's doing the packaging command. Now the artifacts are deployed. Now we will come here to see if our new stack that we gave it to create, is it creating or not. So it's creating. Let's wait, and hopefully it should create it this time around. So it's creating all these things. All these things are in resource creation in progress. So it should be available in some time. Let's wait for a few more seconds. Sometimes it takes a lot of time, but sometimes it gets created readily based on the usage that we have. Somewhere it's saying creation complete. Let's hopefully it should complete for the entire stack also soon. Once it's complete, it will show create complete here other than create in progress. Still in creation progress. And you can view the resources also which it is creating over here. So it has created the queue, it has created the logger lambda. We can click on the lambda and we can click on this log as well. So it is creation complete. So we can go to this lambda. This is the queue name where we can go and check it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to showcase in terms of how you can create your pipeline. Now you can go to the pipeline section also, and you can see all these steps are green. Now after that, you can add multiple stages also if you want to add, let's say, deploy to QA environment or whatever. So then you can do that stuff as well. Okay, I think that's all from my end for now. Anything for further we want to discuss, you can drop in the comment, and we will bring another video for you for an architecture discussion or a system design in the next video. So till then, keep watching digital system design, keep getting upgraded, like and share if you like the video or if you like the content, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thank you.